Coming to you live from $1 Million Studios, Chris Speez and the benchmark of professional wrestling, Mr. Silky Baines. What is... that's not the benchmark of professional wrestling. What the hell's going on here? Oh! What?
Yeah!
Oh, my God. He's back again.
Yes! Whoop, whoop!
That's
right, Reezy.
The Weekend...
Legend. Just doing legendary shit all the time.
Kyle King is back on the program.
Apparently,
Speez and the Benchmark Show on a Friday night, October the 4th, 2019. Silky hung up at the shoot job yet again.
Apparently, I'm also on call now,
Brought in on short notice. Maurice was hanging out, so we sent the limo over to get him. Welcome back, Mr. Kyle King, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me back at $1 Million Studios. Also, really appreciate the upgrades to Maurice's limo. Really appreciate that.
It's the kickoff of SmackDown on Fox, so everybody's up in their game, including us here at the Speez and the Benchmark Show. Welcome in, everybody. If you are new to the program, please make sure to follow the channel. We'd be very grateful for that. And if you are a regular here on Twitch, you know how you can support the program. You can drop those bits. You can become a subscriber for as little as $4.99 a month. If you got Amazon Prime, it's free. All that
You know who is a subscriber? This guy right here.
Of course. That is excellent. And you can also hit us up at the tip jar, tinyurl.com/SB tip jar, because, as Silky likes to say...
Oh, these bills got to get paid. Sorry, I'm
I
running on very little sleep.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
No
I'm sorry. That is my bad. As the on-call host, you all deserve better, and I will be better. I'm going to go back and look at the game film, and it starts with me.
And as Mac Diesel loves to point out, the phone number to get in, 832-937-4559. That's 832-93-SILKY. The debut of SmackDown on Fox, Friday Night SmackDown on Fox, and folks are already chiming in the chat that it was a little bit underwhelming, but we'll get into all of that. We'll also offer our thoughts about AEW and NXT going to battle on Wednesday night. Now, Mr. King, your very first episode was last night, and I checked in for a little bit. Very well done.
Thank you very much.
So make sure to tell the folks where they can catch you before we get going on our show.
Every single Thursday night, head over to twitch.tv/The Kyle King Show. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time is when we go live, and we'll be recapping AEW Dynamite. We'll be talking about NXT, and of course, talking about all the news and rumors going on in professional wrestling, while giving a slight preview of what's to come on the Heel Turn podcast, which episode 110 is up on iTunes right now. Lots of fun on that episode. I don't know if you got to check it out yet, but we were joined by Tijuana legend El Predictico.
Oh, fantastic.
For the Predictions Championship.
Nice.
He filled in for me, and it was not me in a mask that I bought at HEB's Halloween section.
Well, that's good to know. That's good to know.
It was not, okay? It was actual, legit, 9-time Predicción de Champion El Predictico. So that was fun.
Good to see all you guys filing in. Amber Goff is here. Jimmy Tops, good to see you, sir.
Okay, hi.
Mac Diesel, Reezy, Freebirds for Life, all of you guys. Alistair Fiend, thank you all for chiming in. If you are social media
I can already tell Jimmy Tops is going to piss me off.
No, Jimmy Tops is fantastic. Who's saying Brock alone is more over than the shitty Young Bucks or Omega?
Exactly. I have a feeling he's just going to piss me off.
Oh, goodness gracious. So, once again, if you're just now joining us, Silky Baines hung up at the shoot job again. So, very excited to have Mr. Kyle King sitting in with me here tonight. And let's get to Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. First and foremost, Kyle, I know you came in and we rewatched the intro of the show because, as expected, the production value for WWE is always one of their strong points. But to me, holy shit, they really went above and beyond. That set is absolutely unbelievable. The AC/DC theme is great. The opening graphics, the animated intro that they did.
Oh, man.
Holy shit. I mean, that's as good as I've ever seen.
That's apparently, like, everybody was sitting there going like, why won't WWE cancel their Saudi Arabia contracts? They've been saving that money for a brand new set, and that $1 billion got them lasers and 3D graphics and all of the things. It's impressive.
It looks absolutely awesome.
Oh my God, it's awesome.
I said this to Kyle, and I was talking to my son about it as well. You know, WWE has come through Houston a couple more times since the last time Silky and I went, and I haven't gone mostly because I think the last one to come through was a Raw night, and we do the show right after Raw, so we didn't end up going. But I'll tell you what, if SmackDown comes through Houston, or when SmackDown comes through Houston again, I'm going to go just to see the production. I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah. That's because you're also like a production geek.
I totally am, yes.
But I absolutely agree with you. The feel of it, like the from the theme to the set itself to all the pyro and the lasers, like they're definitely going to deliver on that in-house experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said this on my show yesterday on Twitch, where sometimes we forget that while they are putting on a show for television, they're also putting on a show in front of a live audience.
Yeah.
And damn, that's got to be worth the price of admission, because it looked fancy as shit.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
AEW better be lucky they decided to go to Wednesday, and they better be lucky that Vince McMahon didn't decide to be like, you know what, let's go put our $1 billion show on Wednesday nights.
Oh, it was great.
Because the production alone blows AEW out of the water.
Yeah, and that's not to knock AEW.
Right.
I thought they did a great job. You know, we'll talk a little bit about that later on in this program, because we haven't been on since Wednesday night.
But in terms of look and feel and everything, SmackDown, hands down, has the best intro, has the best set, bar none.
Well, and how nice was it to see a jam-packed crowd? I mean, the Staples Center was filled to the rafters.
Yeah.
Everybody was there. The crowd was hyped. You kicked off the show. Again, if you haven't watched the show yet, be talking about it here, but a lot of you come to us to let you know what's going on the show. We kicked off the show with the man, Becky Lynch, making her way out to the ring to cut a promo. You know how excited I was about that.
It's a goddamn abortion and a disgrace.
SmackDown Live started with Stephanie McMahon and Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
I'm surprised your TV
My
doesn't
head
have a
did
hole
explode,
through it.
exactly. Thankfully, Stephanie and Vince came out, gave a very quick intro. And
Which is what it should. I also love how Vince McMahon, like every time Vince McMahon does that guttural growl, it just reminds me of the XFL.
Yeah, totally agree. And, you know, I also love the fact that everybody pisses and moans about Vince McMahon, but as soon as his music hits, the place goes ape shit and everybody's singing his song and everything else.
Like, and you know what? That's so funny. Like, everybody shits on Vince.
Yeah.
Me included. Like, I'll sit there because at the end of the day, Vince McMahon is not a good person. Like, he really is not. But he brought us a lot of entertainment, so we're all hypocrites in our own way. We look past that. But yeah, like, I will sit there and Vince is out of touch and Vince doesn't know what he's doing. But yeah, as soon as that music hits, oh, Vince is here.
Exactly. And I do the same thing. I totally do the same thing. Dolphins are joining XFL, says Jimmy Tops. That's awesome. So it was Becky Lynch coming out and getting ready to cut a promo about something. We don't know what, because she was immediately interrupted by Baron Corbin. So you guys know, I don't know so much about Kyle, although I have a pretty strong feeling that Kyle also, like me and Silky, happens to dig Baron Corbin.
Oh, yeah.
And think that he's a hell of a good heel.
Pro Baron Corbin guy right here.
He's absolutely great as a heel. So he comes out, and my immediate thought is, holy shit, they're going to bury Baron Corbin by having him get his ass whipped by Becky Lynch. And thankfully, it was a whole minute into that segment before The Rock's music hit, and we got the great one, The Rock coming back to SmackDown, which was absolutely outstanding. And The Rock did.
I like that they didn't waste time getting to The Rock. Now,
No.
I know The Rock is busy. He shot like 19 movies in one day today, so he's got a tight schedule. At some point, he's got to get like his 5th lift in. Then he's got to get like 30 minutes of sleep and then restart his day. So I'm glad that they were just like, no effing around. Let's get to the great one and let's go.
Yeah, I think Corbin barely got into the ring and The Rock's music hit, and he was out there. So The Rock comes out just doing his thing as he does. He's still absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
He's still light years ahead of anybody in the company on the microphone. He holds 15,000 people in the palm of his hands. I mean, it's absolutely amazing to watch that guy. 2 things about this segment. Number 1, I have no fucking idea what Becky Lynch was doing out there.
Yeah.
I mean, she just looked out of place. She would throw in the occasional line.
Yeah.
And
Do you ever watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I do not.
Okay, so there was this, like the last episode, there was a scene where they did like this big reveal. Uh-oh.
Look at Get the Tables.
Hey!
7-month streak. Thank you very much, Get the Tables, for the resub. We appreciate that, sir.
Really appreciate
And good
that.
luck to you on the the Impact watch along tonight as well.
So as I was saying, in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, there was just the scene where Andy Samberg was behind the glass and they were revealing something so he couldn't hear. And so he was just like, you go ahead and explain, and I'm just going to throw in a yeah to stay in the mix. So like people would talk, and again, he can't hear what's going on. So they'd be like, oh, so when I just did this, this is what happened. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's Becky Lynch's
pretty much
role.
what Becky Lynch was.
She knew her role, and she kind of shut her mouth.
Yeah, it was. And she jumped in on The Rock's line. It doesn't matter what you think. We got to hear Becky Lynch say that instead of The Rock. It just, from what I see.
He let Becky Lynch do that, and he will never let Mick Foley do it.
I know.
Oh, man.
It's ridiculous. I know Juanito enjoyed the show, but not The Rock. Juanito, notorious hater of The Rock, and that's okay. We love Juanito, big supporter of the program.
I love Juanito, too. Juanito, you know you and I are cool, but I have a feeling Juanito is going to piss me off this episode.
So two things. Number one, I don't have any idea what Becky Lynch was doing out there. Yeah. Apparently, from what I was told on Twitter, The Rock specifically asked to be in a segment with Becky Lynch.
Well, hell, she's been on every WWE 2K20 commercial with every other legend. Maybe he just wanted to get. You know what? The Rock needed the rub from Becky Lynch.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
We know he's suffering from popularity, so he needed that rub.
It's fucking embarrassing.
And Jimmy Top says, I wanted The Rock to rock bottom her. So.
Yes. So, by the way, thank you, Rock. Vegas had odds on the show.
No shit.
Yes, and we ran through them on the Heel Turn podcast, and I actually went ahead and laid some bets on tonight's show. I think I have a problem. But he gave a rock bottom. He gave a people's elbow.
Yes.
Did he call someone a jabroni? Because if so,
you guys have to help me out with this one because I don't recall him saying the word jabroni.
I was a little leery on that one.
Yeah.
But if he did, that's a big payday for me.
Well, it wasn't like a parlay, was it?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
do a
they
parlay.
were individual bets. So
they were individual bets. I lost on a parlay on NFL gambling last week because the Colts decided to lose to the Raiders and the Rams decided to lose to the Buccaneers at home. Both of them.
Absurd.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally absurd.
So, I bet on SmackDown, and if he called somebody jabroni, that's a huge win for me tonight.
The other thing about that segment, besides not really knowing, Jeffrey Cross says he did call somebody a jabroni. So you're 3 for 3. That's exactly right.
Hell yeah.
The only other thing was that segment went on too fucking long. I mean, it was, I believe, we're in Central Time, so the show started at 7. I believe it was 7:18 before they finally went to commercial break from that first segment. I mean, it went a long time. And Becky Lynch got a couple kicks in, but basically,
that
you
was
saw
the Rock segment.
Saw your people's elbow, you saw your rock bottom.
Yeah.
The Rock did his thing, and that's exactly what it was.
Jimmy Tops says, Vegas did betting Speez, you didn't tell me. First of all, you have a name called Jimmy Tops. That is prime gambler name.
That is a great
fact
gambling
that
name.
you didn't
He's
tell...
a pro wrestler. Jimmy Tops is a pro wrestler.
Well, Jimmy, the fact that you didn't tell Speez, how do you not know if you have a name like that? That is a prime wise guy gambling name, and I fucking love it.
Yeah,
I like you, Jimmy. I have a feeling Jimmy is not going to piss me off now.
No, nothing.
Now that I know that we're kindred gambling spirits.
So we went about 20 minutes into the show, and all we had was The Rock running down Baron Corbin, which I didn't mind.
Yeah.
Again, it was great. It's always great to see The Rock. He always looks like he could literally step back into the ring tomorrow.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And just fit right in.
Yeah.
Of course he could do it promo-wise, but just the way he keeps himself in shape, he looks amazing. I mean, he could still go in the ring and kick ass, so I love seeing him there. The first match we got of the night, 20 minutes in, was the 4 Horsewomen tag team match between Charlotte and Becky Lynch taking on Sasha and Bayley. All right, let me ask you this, because there seemed to be a lot of confusion, not only on Twitter, but in the crowd as well. Mm-hmm. Based on the way those teams are constructed, it would seem that the Becky-Charlotte team would be the babyface team, and the Sasha-Bayley team would be the heel team.
Right.
But I didn't get that vibe at all. I mean, people still don't like Charlotte very much.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't. And people still kind of like Bayley because, really, you're supposed to. So what the fuck's going on with these teams? I have no idea what's going on with the dynamic there.
They've been slowly turning Bayley heel. And to me, it's gotten to that point where it's like, you know me. I appreciate a slow burn. I appreciate long-term booking and stuff like that. But with Bayley, it's like, make the turn already. You know what I mean? Like, just speed it up just a little bit and get there. But you also have to remember, we're in an age of wrestling where fans are going to cheer for whoever they want, regardless of babyface or heel status.
Especially in the WWE.
Correct. Like, say what you want. Yeah, look at a perfect example. MJF is literally one of the biggest heels. 95% of wrestling fans will say some sort of effect of he's the best heel in the business, okay? And whether you agree or not, whatever, that's what's being said. MJF, as soon as his music hit on Wednesday, the crowd started chanting. But what did he do?
He immediately turned him against him.
Correct.
And that's what the great ones do.
Correct. But WWE doesn't really do that. Now, granted, MJF has a lot more leeway. Somebody on my Twitch show yesterday was like, "Oh, he's just AEW's Miz," and I was like, that's kind of degrading both of them, because while the Miz is a great heel, MJF has more freedom to do bigger heel, like meaner heel things.
Oh, totally.
So they do a good job with that character of like, no, you're going to not cheer this guy. You're not going to like him. WWE doesn't really do that because they're very stuck in the, no, it's got to be this way, and the fans just rebel.
Got to be written out. You got to, stick
and the
to
fans
the script
rebel.
and so on. Yeah, exactly. Rock knows how to get a crowd fired up, says Naked Grandma. Shout out to you, by the way, which is kind of sad given he's not even on the roster. Melomac wants to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns. I don't know how they make that work, just because they're always, like bros. And that's certainly not going to help Roman Reigns because nobody's
family.
Yeah, nobody's rooting for Roman Reigns in that match. So unless you're trying to make him a heel, which they don't seem to want to do, it's not going to happen. Something about The Rock not calling out CM Punk as rumored. There's been a lot of rumors going around.
That wasn't a rumor. CM Punk was on an interview. I think it was with Kevin and Bean, two radio guys on the West Coast, and he was promoting a movie he was on, and all he said was like, SmackDown is at the Staples Center and The Rock's going to be there. Remember what happened last time he was in the Staples Center? And that's when he literally called CM Punk live in front of a studio, or in front of the crowd.
Right.
So that's what he was alluding to. It wasn't really a rumor. It was more CM Punk has gotten into this. He's trolling the fans now.
He really is.
You know what I mean? And look, I'm fine with it, but I have gone on record saying he has until the end of the draft on Monday Night Raw to make his return. And then if he doesn't, I will never say, I will finally go, he's not coming back.
He's not coming back.
But that doesn't mean he's not going to have fun trolling people of like, am I going to?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm not.
So the end of the match saw Charlotte Flair with the figure 8 on Bayley, getting Bayley to tap out. Charlotte and Becky Lynch get the win. Then we get a champion versus champion match announced between Seth Rollins, your Universal Champion, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Now this match is about to get going. Seth Rollins makes his way out to the ring, and he's interrupted by the Firefly Funhouse yet again, where Bray Wyatt uses his puppets to demonstrate what is going to happen to Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell on Sunday. And I know a lot of you are commenting on this in the chat. No, we didn't get any more match announcements for Hell in a Cell. So as of right now, there are 3 matches on the card for Hell in a Cell.
Fucking love that. I mean, I said it on Twitter. I love it. You start off the night with Becky losing the championship to Sasha in a Hell in a Cell.
Yes.
Then you have Harper and Rowan beat Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns, and then you finish the night with The Fiend beating Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell. Bye! Yeah. See you on Monday Night Raw.
This would be like a 90-minute show tops, even if it was that much.
Please.
Which they're never going to do, so we're not even going to entertain this thought because there's going to be a lot more bullshit.
WWE, please, pretend that I have some crippling disease, and please grant my wish.
Stop it. You're trying to be a Make-A-Wish kid now? Stop it.
I didn't say kid. I didn't say kid.
You're trying to be one of the Make-A-Wish people. That's terrible. You can't do that.
Shut up. I mean, I could.
No,
don't hold me back from my life dreams.
You make a jack off of yourself.
Says the Iron Sheik. I wonder how new viewers on Fox reacted to the Firefly Funhouse. They must be asking what drugs the creative team is on.
Yeah, could you imagine high-level execs
looking and going,
watching, sitting there going yes, The
Yeah,
Rock-
because basically what happened, they had a little cage there with Ramblin' Rabbit in there wearing his little Seth Rollins shirt. And what's the vulture called? I always forget the vulture's name. Mercy the vulture.
Mercy the buzzard.
The buzzard, sorry.
Uncultured swine.
Whatever, same shit. Goes in there and completely kills This is the second show in a row Ramblin' Rabbit has been killed, by the way.
Rambling Rabbit is Bray Wyatt's Kenny.
I was going to say, he's definitely become the Kenny of the show. So he was murdered yet again. Stuffing is flying all over the place. And, Seth Rollins is looking at it basically thinking, shit, I have to get into a cage with this crazy bastard, as you would expect.
Have you seen Bray Wyatt's media plugs that he's been doing up until...
I saw one, like a quick video on Twitter.
Was it the weather one?
The weather one, yes.
Okay,
that's
there
what
was
it was
another one where he was kind of getting interviewed at a radio station, and they just kept asking, like, oh, what do you think's going to happen? He's like, I just hope everybody's nice and has a really fun time. Like, I love that Bray Wyatt stays in the Bray Wyatt character and at all times. Like, so little peek behind the curtain. Those of you who are new, I do radio. I've been in radio for a long time, and one of the stations I worked at, I remember one of the guys is friends with The Undertaker. And he was like, hey, Undertaker, come on. He's going to be on the show. Undertaker ended up having to cancel. WWE pulled him out of that because at the time, they wanted their characters to basically stay in character.
Right.
And it was like, well, The Undertaker doesn't really do interviews.
Exactly.
Biker Taker would have, but he wasn't the biker at the time. He had switched back to the dead man.
You can't have him on radio answering questions in Undertaker voice.
Right. At one point, I got to interview Mickey James and MVP when they were with the company for WrestleMania 25. And before we even had the interview, I remember asking MVP, because he was a heel. I was like, hey, are we going to talk, or are you going to be in character? And he was like, well, I gotta be in character. And let me tell you, it was fucking cool.
I bet it was.
I was making fun of him, and I remember him at one point going like, my chain, he had the 305 MVP chain. He's like, my chain costs more than the entire block you live on, kid.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. It really was. Like, all of a sudden, I'm sitting there going like, ooh.
What's up, Stokes, Maine? Good to see you. Kofi should have been given more time to put on a decent match. But yeah, we'll get to that most definitely. And if you're new to the program, Stokes, Maine, make sure you give us a follow here on Twitch. We appreciate that. Keep those bits coming and the subs and all that wonderful stuff. We're always grateful for that. 216 says, favorite show all of this week.
Mine was Now look, Jimmy, I know Jimmy Tops over here.
Tops is waiting to pounce.
I know, because he thinks that I'm an AEW fanboy, but let me tell you, everybody knows I just root for good wrestling. I really enjoyed AEW Dynamite, and I will admit, because I had been looking forward to this for a long time, I really liked the show because it didn't let me down. And it had every chance to. It didn't. There were things I disliked about it, but for the most part, it was a great show. I thought it was a little better than NXT, mainly because NXT didn't really do anything to change the norm. You know what I mean? Like, they promised us, they gave us title matches, and that's great.
Yeah.
But nothing changed.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I really enjoyed their debut. I thought it was fantastic, and it was my favorite show this week. Could very well change next week, but I would say, you know what? Yeah, if I had to rank it, it would be AEW, NXT, SmackDown, Raw. And Raw was really good. I liked Raw this week.
That's fair. Speez, are you excited for the WWE draft next week? Yeah, they'll probably be pretty good. What's up, Shroom Goon? Good to see you. Just hearing Tony Schiavone's voice again was nice. I totally agree. That was very nice.
I like Excalibur. I really do.
Let's take the fucking mask off.
No, that's his thing. Look, hold on. You can't sit there and get mad that somebody has a gimmick. We're watching.
No, I'm not mad that he has a gimmick, but he's. Yeah.
I just wish it would be JR and Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, that would be very good.
I think that would be that would instantly be the best booth.
What's up, Mark Jack? Thanks for the follow, buddy.
Mark.
Appreciate that. So let's get back to this Nakamura-Rollins match. Basically, the match didn't happen because the lights go out, the Fiend comes and attacks Seth Rollins yet again, as you might expect leading up to their big match coming up. One of 3 matches that we have on tap for this weekend's Hell in a Cell. Top of the hour brought us the ladder match between Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens. And as you would expect, It's Shane McMahon, Mr. fucking Backyard Wrestler, doing Mr. Backyard Wrestling shit. He does the flying elbow off the top rope through the table that we've seen a million times. He does the coast to coast across the ring.
Still cool.
That's not still cool.
Yes,
he
it
fucking
is.
looks like he's about to die of a heart attack every time that he's in there.
He pulls it off, and
he pulls it off all right.
It is fun when he gets speared mid jump as well. He does pull that off well because he has no choice but to get his ass kicked.
And he, goddamn, when he did the fucking coast to coast drop kick, they showed it, and this, I don't know if he's just, because clearly he didn't do this his whole career, or he'd be fucking dead. But when he does it, you see his head snap back and hit the back of his head hits the mat, and that's the one thing. And I've jumped in a wrestling ring and done some very, 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 very teeny tiny minimal training in there. And let me tell you, if you bang your fucking head against that mat, it hurts like a motherfucker. So if you're jumping all the way across the ring and then banging your head against the back of the mat, there's a pretty good chance that you're concussed. I mean, it just is. It just is. So, hold on. Oh, that's fine, Alistair Fiend. Thank you, though. So anyway, this match was to determine who would be fired from WWE. And again, it's the typical stuff. We also had a splash.
Are you happy? Are you happy?
I'm very happy. I'm very happy that it happened. To get straight to the finish, Shane McMahon, eat shit, get the fuck off my TV. Shane McMahon is now fired because he lost to Kevin Owens, and it was brilliant.
You know what? I actually like this because I've been an advocate for a while now of getting rid of the authority figure in just all of wrestling. I think it's unnecessary. It's been overdone. So many, like, I don't need another, I'm a good general manager, I'm a heel. Like, I don't need it anymore. Like, I love the way William Regal is used in NXT. He only shows up for big matches, and people and superstars go to him, not the other way around.
Exactly.
I love the way they do that, and I love that SmackDown and Raw are kind of getting away from authority figures, so that way it could be like, gee, go figure, just wrestle.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. So Kevin Owens gets the big win. Shane McMahon is gone. Nice match. It is a good ladder match. Good time eater. Again, a lot of the same shit that we've seen from Shane, but you know, you get what you get.
But bye!
Gannick, good to see you in here in the chat as well. We have all been advocates to get rid of the authority for a very long time. I know I have.
Well, and look, I'm not just talking about, I know a lot of people have been like, get rid of Shane. I'm talking about just authority figures in general. It's unnecessary. It's not needed. I mean, we go through general managers to commissioners to constables to sheriffs to oh my God. I honest to God, I swear, if all of a sudden a sound effect goes up and I hear Michael Cole go, "May I have your attention, please?" I will rage quit all of WWE programming. All of it.
The most awkward match of the night was next. It was an 8-man tag match between Heavy Machinery, The Miz, and Braun Strowman, taking on Bobby Roode, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and Dolph Ziggler, or as it was so beautifully put to us on Monday, Rudolph, being Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, which is brilliant. That was Naked Grandma.
You know what?
Strong with that.
Yeah, that makes me laugh.
That was excellent. So it seemed like the whole purpose of this match was to have Braun Strowman have a face-off outside the ring with current heavyweight boxing badass Tyson Fury, who was sitting front row. Those two had a stare down during the match. Once the match was over, Tyson Fury actually jumped the railing and had to be held back from security coming after Strowman. So I don't know if this was a gimmick to try to get them.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, I don't know if this was a gimmick to try to get them more coverage on the mainstream sports networks because Tyson Fury being a boxing guy, or if this is actually going to lead to something in the future.
Yes and yes.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like,
thank you very much, Alistair Fiend. Appreciate the bits, man.
The great stream, Speez. Miss your benchmark.
Well, hold on. Here it comes.
Great stream, Speez. Miss your benchmark.
Yeah, Alistair always misses the benchmark. Everybody misses the benchmark. That's why we try to get him to bring his ass, but I can't fault the guy for trying to make his money, you know.
I'm sitting right here. It's hurtful.
Naked Grandma says, I don't watch boxing, so I don't even care about Tyson Fury.
You know what, Naked Grandma? You're not the only one. I barely know who Tyson Fury is. The only reason I know who he is B-Mac on the heel turn. He's a huge boxing guy, so I have to hear about it every now and then. So that's the only reason I know about him.
Well, he's got a badass name. Tyson Fury is a badass name.
Like,
so here comes, wait for it.
I missed the benchmark as well.
All of a sudden, the bits are rolling in.
I mean,
just to troll Kyle about Silky not being here.
Look, guys, I'm very glad that you're dropping bits. I'm
very glad too. I appreciate it.
I see and obviously hear your messages, and you know what? They hurt my feelings. So please stop. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Jesus Christ. So anyway, Strowman and company got the win in that match. But again, the whole purpose was apparently to get this face-off between Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman. So we shall see. Alice misses too.
She didn't drop any bits, so I'm just going to disregard that. And again, but just know, Alice, that does hurt my feelings still.
We had the Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan match. This turning out to be a lumberjack match.
This was basically WWE finding a way to get everybody on the premiere of SmackDown. And look, I kind of like it. I kind of do, because you're in front of a larger audience right now. So sure, get some people some run, even if it's on the outside. I mean, look, people can literally sit there and go, who is that guy? And then you can sit there and be like, that's Mojo Rawley. We don't really care about Mojo.
Yeah, decent enough match. It turned into shenanigans when Luke Harper came through. Silky's got to be through with his shenanigans.
Shenanigans?
When Luke Harper came down and started kicking ass outside the ring, big schmaz, guys end up inside the ring, and it ends with Daniel Bryan hitting a running knee on, I believe it was Harper.
Yes.
And then Rowan gets up, getting ready to hit the claw slam, whatever that big fucking claw
Iron
slam.
claw.
The iron claw, thank you. See, I'm used to the claw, the Von Erich claw.
Yeah.
Way back in the day, so that's what I always
I'm used to the
default
Toy
to.
Story claw. The claw.
Stop it. And Roman Reigns hits the spear and gets the win. So in
Whoa,
advance,
LOL.
another match that one of the three that's coming up this weekend, Roman will team up with
you know
Daniel
what?
Bryan to take on Harper and Rowan.
I'm really glad that Roman got the win here. Doesn't really surprise me because, again, you're in front of a bigger audience right now. Roman's obviously one of your top. Sorry, I'm gonna steal the phrase.
That's
Don't
okay.
get mad. He's a top guy, so makes sense he gets the win. But this also makes me very happy because I picked Harper and Rowan to win the match this weekend. So I think this could be a way of being like, okay, you got your win on Friday, but now we're going to put these guys over. And again, it makes sense to me. Daniel Bryan and Roman lose nothing in this if they lose.
Yeah, but you're
Harper and
building up-
Rowan gain everything.
Exactly. Naked Grandma wants to know, has there ever been a good lumberjack match? Can you think of a good lumberjack match? My memory is not nearly what it once was. I drank way too much before I got sober.
Lumberjack matches just always end in the lumberjacks getting involved, and it's a mess. Look, lumberjack matches are never supposed to be classics.
Lumberjack matches are way cooler when, you know, the heel throws the face out of the ring into the heel portion of the lumberjacks, and they start kicking the shit out of him outside the ring and then throw him back in. That's when I dig lumberjack matches. That's when it's fun. Seriously, they only have 3 matches as advertised. Yeah. I mean, that's
great.
That's
Look, NXT only does 5.
Stop it. There's no way. Okay, maybe we get to 5 matches.
I would be okay with 5.
But I'll bet you there's still going to end up
WWE
being like fucking 10 matches. Twitter's going to be going ape shit between now and Sunday with somebody saying, oh, Carmella has challenged Naomi at a match at Hell in the Cell.
WWE, I stubbed my toe, and as my wish, after stubbing my toe, my wish is just to have a minimum or maximum 5-match card this weekend. So please make my wish come true after I severely stubbed my toe. Thank you.
Okay, I
That's
couldn't
rude.
remember what that one
Wow.
was, so I had to throw that one in there.
Okay.
DB turns on Roman and says it was him the whole time, says Jeffrey Cross.
Very
All right,
possible.
I like that.
Very possible.
Brian turning on Roman and revealing to be the mastermind doesn't make a lick of sense, though, after everything, says Naked Grandma. Daniel Bryan never makes sense.
It was me, Austin.
Yeah,
it was me all along.
So we had one match remaining, and it was the WWE Championship match between Kofi Kingston and Brock Lesnar. Brock looks fucking badass I mean, he looks like he's been in the gym. He's been training. He looks solid.
Brock Lesnar looks like he just walks through life kicking the shit out of people.
Out of everyone and everything that gets in his way. Right. Absolutely right. So, this match literally lasted about 8 seconds. The bell rang.
Which is about 5 seconds longer than I thought it was going to go.
The bell, and most of us had Brock Lesnar.
Kofi's losing a step. He didn't get over there for that
Stop
F5
it.
quick
Most
enough.
of us had Brock Lesnar winning this match.
Yeah.
I mean, it was time. Now, granted, Kofi Kingston has had a hell of a title run.
Mm-hmm.
He's beaten some big names. They were running through all the pay-per-view wins that he had. Randy Orton, Samoa Joe. I mean, he's had some really, really big wins.
Yep.
And he runs across the ring, dives into Strowman's arms, who catches him, throws him up on the shoulders, hits an F5, 1, 2, 3. Your new WWE champion is Brock Lesnar. And that was it. I mean, that's the entire match.
Yeah. We saw it. I mean, I think we can all sit there and go, we saw it coming.
Yeah, we're all going to go Negro Damas on that one. Silky here, he'd be...
No, but I'm just going to do this for literally everybody who watches professional wrestling. Congratulations. We all call. Good job, guys.
Yeah, I'll get a round of applause for
I'm glad
yourselves.
that wrestling Twitter put aside all of our like petty bullshit for like 8 seconds to sit there and go, this is going to be a squash.
Yeah. But hey, look, I have no problem with Brock as champion. I've said this before. I love Brock as champion because his fights feel like a big deal. It's way cooler now that he has his pyro back as well. But it was after the match that things really picked up, because who comes out to the ring but one Rey Mysterio,
and his big brother
hits, and his big brother, Cain Velasquez.
I love it.
Another UFC badass, and somebody who knows shit absolutely looks like he can whip Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And he's got the pedigree to back it up.
Yeah.
He gets in the ring.
They've fought before.
I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it, man.
I do find it funny that Ray basically went like, hey, you beat the crap out of me, and then you mauled my son, so here's my big brother to come fight you. Rey Mysterio, who made his name being the giant killer, now needs big brother Cain to come in and basically help him out. Here's what I want to happen.
The Hispanic causing panic, Cain.
Oh, Alistair, yeah. Here's what I want. Okay, I want them to kind of have a match, but I want there to be a swerve, and Cain Velasquez turns on Rey Mysterio, and then Brock Lesnar and Cain Velasquez just decide, you know what? Beating the shit out of people.
You're just going to kill Rey Mysterio. You want to see Rey Mysterio murdered in the ring is basically what you want to see.
I basically want Cain Velasquez and Brock Lesnar to like form the new two-man power trip, the new Brothers of Destruction, and just kill everybody. Like, I want them to eat steaks and kill people. That's what I want when it comes to Cain Velasquez being in the WWE.
You're running off all of our audience right now. They're like, fucking shit. It's bad enough we got to see Brock Lesnar kill everybody. Now he's got to have a partner with him, and they got to kill everybody
You're going to
else.
sit there and tell me you don't want to see those two powerhouses just absolutely demolish the shit out of people?
As long as you find somebody that finally comes up and beats him.
But no, I want Cain to go ahead and obviously beat Brock Lesnar. And I think Cain Velasquez is great. I love that he is dedicated to professional wrestling. Those who saw his AAA Mania
Triple
debut.
Mania, yep.
Yeah, Triple Mania. Like, he can do hurricanranas and shit. Like, he legit can wrestle. So congratulations, Cain Velasquez. You now have a new fan.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. Breaking news: Kyle hates Ray because Kyle wants to see him murdered in the ring.
No, look, I don't hate Ray. I'm just pro murder.
Okay, pro in-ring murder.
Pro in-ring murder. Look, they literally had a dude try to run another guy over, and instead of going to jail, it's, okay, you're going to have a match, a tag match. So, yes, I'm pro wrestling murder, and I would love to see a legit murder.
So that was the end of your first ever Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. Not a bad show. Production value was through the roof. I thought the Rock segment was good. It went way too long. The matches themselves were largely crap. The Kevin Owens-Shane McMahon match was okay, but I thought the women's tag was really lacking. I thought the big 8-man tag match was totally unnecessary. Roman versus Eric Rowan was okay, and it was just a joke in the main event.
Really quick, I do want to get to this because I think these are two very good points. Ganica says, isn't Kane still under contract? I think so. There were some rumors that because he's under contract with UFC still, he's not really allowed to do really anything in a wrestling ring in the States. That's why he was allowed to do stuff outside of America. But here he can't really. So I don't know how much of that is true because he did at least get in and do a takedown and threw some punches, but it wasn't much. So maybe he got a little exception from that, but that's a good point. I agree. But MJK, Marcus says, Kane has had one match. How much of this was WWE keeping Kane from AEW? Look, I think it played a factor. Absolutely, it played a factor in there. But I don't think it if I were to put a percentage on it, I would say under 50%, maybe 30% of it.
Hey, he's getting up there. I mean, he's what, 37 years old, I think it says here in this article.
Yeah.
So
and plus, if you're AEW and if you're trying to legit be the counter to WWE, why would you then be like, well, you know what? We're going to go get our own MMA guy. I don't think it makes sense for AEW company-wise to bring them in, but at the same time, never say never. Yeah. So, again, while I agree that a little bit of it was, I don't think it was a huge factor. Yeah.
Got a little bit of time here. Let's backtrack a little bit to Wednesday night and offer our thoughts on AEW Dynamite and NXT. We talked a little bit about it earlier, but AEW Dynamite, as far as that goes, for a very first show from a brand new promotion, I thought they did a hell of a job. There were a couple of really solid matches on there. You guys know, if you watch this program, I'm a huge Pac Mark.
Yeah.
Love him ever since he was Neville in WWE, and I loved his match with Kenny Omega at the last pay-per-view, and I loved his match against Hangman Page on Wednesday. I thought that for me was match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, I thought the production went really smoothly. I thought there were some good angles in there. They're setting some things up nicely. They've got a couple of guys, Pac being one of them, MJF being one of them, Chris Jericho being another one, where one of the things that potentially bothered me, I guess I should say, about AEW was that it seemed like in the first few pay-per-views, the fans cheered everybody.
Yep.
And there were no heels and faces. There was no good guys, bad guys. There was none of that kind of stuff. And I'm kind of old school like that. I like to see that.
But you know what? I mean, you and I have been to many an indie show. And, indie crowds, especially when you have, look, these guys are all indie wrestlers, except for, I'd say all of them are pretty much indie guys.
Yeah.
And, on the indie shows, fans are going to root for their people no matter what.
Right.
And I think I really think AEW is a different crowd than WWE. This is why I hate trying to compare them to one another.
No, you can't.
Because it's different crowds, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with having different crowds, different tastes and everything. I think they're going to cheer just no matter what, and they're going to be invested in most matches, I believe.
I'll tell you what, I've watched, 5 or so AEW shows now, however many there have been. I've watched them all. I have yet to see a child in the AEW crowd. It's not going to happen. You see that at WWE shows, and they tailor a certain portion of their programming to children so that they can bring in that demographic.
And that's why I don't get pissed off at WWE, because WWE is very much, unless it's NXT. But if you're looking at Raw and SmackDown, they're a variety show.
Yeah.
20 minutes is dedicated towards fans like us. 20 minutes is dedicated towards, like the younger teen audience. Then another 20 minutes is dedicated to the kiddos and everything. And they try to fit everything in. Sometimes it jacks with the flow of the show and we get all mad. But again, they're appealing to mass audiences.
Yeah.
AEW is appealing to pretty much one. Like I saw a stat from the ratings that came out. In case you didn't know, surprise, surprise, AEW won the rating war. Well, won the ratings night.
Yeah.
1.4 million to 891,000. Yeah. But I thought the interesting stat, though, was AEW tripled the amount of viewers on PlayStation View that demographic is exactly who AEW is going after.
I mean, that's a small sample size. I mean, I'd be interested to know how many people are actually watching on PlayStation
I would too.
View.
I know BMAC does. BMAC watches everything on PlayStation View.
But no, there's no question. And when you compare the numbers, I believe NXT's first Wednesday night show did somewhere in the neighborhood of around. It was still less than AEW. I'll just tell you guys have seen this on my Twitter. I have no idea, having worked in the film industry myself. I never understood why people get hung up on things like box office. Like what the number one movie is or how much money a movie makes, because it has no bearing on how good it is.
Yeah.
And I feel similarly about TV ratings. I never really understood why people get so caught up
look,
in ratings.
Endgame could have sucked. Endgame could have been the worst, comic book movie you've ever seen, but the hype and everything around
Everybody and their mother was going to go see it.
Right. So it was going to beat out movies.
Yeah. And I kind of feel the same way about ratings. But back to your point, I think it was about 1.2 million or so that NXT did on their first night, and then it's gradually gone down.
Which is to be expected.
You're going to see the same thing with AEW. So don't freak out, if you're an AEW fan, and all of a sudden next week they're down to 1 million.
You know what I did love? I loved the statement WWE put out congratulating AEW on their premiere. So, again, yes, that was part PR and strategy move, but you know me, I'm a big fan of when these companies take shots at one another. I know a lot of you, especially in the chat, sit there and go, oh, I wish they'd stop taking shots at one another. No, I like when they do, because that's WWE admitting and acknowledging that they have competition. Yeah. And they've stepped their game up because of that competition.
Holy shit, have they? As far as if SmackDown was any indication tonight, at least from a production standpoint, they got a little work to do on the content.
I'm so glad we had the Monday Night Wars. It was so much fun growing up as a kid watching that, and it's cool going back and reliving it. But we are in a different era right now. And look, take all the shots you want. Like, remember when Kenny Omega made the comments in character about NXT being developmental? Triple H returned some subtle fire towards him, and he basically went like, hey, I don't get into the whole talking trash, because if you're going to read everything, you're going to have a bad time. But look, everybody can, I think it's cute that people can put executive vice president in their titles. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he returns a shot.
Yeah, which is
But
fun.
At the end of the day, they just wanted to provide good wrestling for us, the fans. And I'm great with that.
Yeah, totally. Let's get to some of your comments here. Jeffrey Cross says, Dynamite was good, but it didn't wow me.
Okay.
Neck of Grandma says, Dynamite wasn't perfect, but it was a good start.
I don't think any show is going to be perfect.
No, but it was a good, solid start. Gannica says, Dynamite was a good show, good start as well. I just hope Cody and the Young Bucks don't have to be the center of every show, says Shroom Goon.
So
I don't think they will.
We can come back to that. I do want to come back to that, but let's get to everybody else's comments first.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Let's see. Alistair Fiend's an Xbox guy. Alice is a PlayStation person. The biggest question, will they be able to sustain it over a long period of time, says Jeffrey Cross, and that's exactly right. Listen, Endgame isn't even as good as The Dark Knight, says Gannicus. And also, Neck and Grandma wants to know, first Shroom Goon, is NXT always going to stay in one location, or will they travel?
For now, they're going to stay in one location, and I think that's a fantastic idea to start out.
Yeah, I could have sworn that somewhere down the line they will be taking it on the road.
For sure.
They've done that in years past. I mean, they've taken it on the road, not necessarily for TV tapings, but, NXT's been traveling ever since almost ever since
I think it's a great idea to keep it at Full Sail, because that crowd has shown up week in and week out. This is a way, and especially since you're introducing it to a new audience, this is a great way for the new audience coming in and getting eyes on this product to sit there and see, oh, okay, so like this person, gets this reaction. So this is what we're supposed to be feeling. It's basically like having the tutorial in a video game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So I like that they're staying at Full Sail, and I honestly would have zero issue if they just wanted to stay.
Yeah.
And do the occasional, like, you know what? Next week, we're heading to Houston. Next week, we're going to Philly.
I think they'll do it just because, again, I think at some point it just makes sense, and I think they can draw. Mm-hmm. So, if they take that show on the road and it's going to be a live TV show, now, from a production standpoint, And that's expensive. It's not cheap to do that. You know, they take these traveling shows, like when they come here to Houston,
Right.
they play a spot called the Revention Music Center, which holds maybe 2,000 people or so.
It is a very intimate venue.
Yeah,
I will say
and
that.
so
They could do NRG Arena.
They probably could. But the point is to take that production on the road, to take all that production crew. You know, you're not taking all those people on the road when you do house shows like this.
And you have to remember, it still is developmental.
Yeah.
There's still, you know, for every Matt Riddle Adam Cole match, you then, you know, get something like Cameron Grimes versus, you know, Jordan Miles.
Although, let's bring up one big note from NXT on Wednesday. What did you think of Finn Balor
Loved it.
announcing that he will now be on the NXT brand again? We've kind of been
Absolutely
joking
loved
on
it.
this show, and Dr. Huge has been doing the same on his show. Give him a follow at Dr. Huge here on our Dr. Huge show here on Twitch as well, about Finn Balor needing to go to 205 Live because that would be a better spot for him. Finn Balor going back to NXT, to me, it's an absolutely brilliant move. I don't think Finn Balor... Look, he was very popular on the main roster.
Yep.
To me, he was in a different stratosphere
Well, he
as
even
NXT
said-
champion on the NXT roster.
He had even come out and said that he didn't, you know, when he got drafted, he didn't really want to go because he felt like his business wasn't finished in NXT. And so I love that he's getting to return. And I think I've said it on this program. I know I've said it on the Heel Turn podcast, but I think I've said it here. I'd love to see Asuka go back and fight for the title she never lost. I'd love to see the War Raiders go, even though they're getting some love on the main roster now and they're doing good. I would love to see them kind of go back and reestablish themselves. Can't believe I'm going to say this because I can't believe I said this earlier. I'd love to see Heavy Machinery go back.
Heavy Machinery's so great. Otis is still great.
He is a national treasure.
He's thick. I've been trying to tell all you people.
I know.
Kyle's finally come around. Silky hasn't come around yet, but he will because...
Silky hadn't even come on the show in like a month and a half. So
nonetheless, he'll come around on Otis because everybody does because he's freaking brilliant.
It's infectious is what it
totally is. MJ says AEW had some production issues where there were some slow transitions, but overall it was a good show. Yeah, they'll work that out. They'll work out the kinks there. WWE has way too much talent. They bury him on the main cards. Now Shinsuke and Ricochet need to return. Ricochet seems to be doing quite well for himself on the main roster. I think his trajectory is headed in the right direction.
I would love to see Ricochet go over to SmackDown in the draft because they actually have. I loved his entrance with the lasers, and that was so weird on Raw. Like we've got Pyro back, but Ricochet can't get his lasers back. Yeah, he still has that shitty pew pew
Exactly.
pew.
What was with Otis wearing a shirt that was too damn small for him? I don't know why Otis doesn't wear the fucking singlet anymore. It still works. It's great.
When you're a beefcake like that, all right, you just go around wearing whatever you want.
You just go full on beef overload.
Beef overload! Go for it, man. Like just go be the beefcake that you are. You know,
That's
like
exactly
if I had a body like that, I would never wear a shirt. Ever.
As it is, you just don't wear pants, which is already very disturbing.
Right. I do this show pants. I literally do every show. Funny enough. So again, I think it was last weekend when I was on the radio. I was telling people that I was going to do the show in a bathrobe.
Bathrobe, yeah.
And people didn't believe me, and I literally did the show in a bathrobe. That was it. Like my brand new bathrobe I brought to the studios. And look, when you're comfortable and you feel good, you do good. And I knocked it out of the park once again. It was a flawless broadcast.
And you're very humble about it, and that's what I dig about you.
I am the most, that's what I always tell people is I'm the most humble.
Of course. That's exactly right. Haven says, I'm done with WWE. They fucked over the black man. Well, Haven, I'm sorry to hear that, man. But while you're here, make sure to follow the channel and join us here on the Speez and the Benchmark show every Monday and Friday. That'll be outstanding. Yeah, they just did Kofi wrong. But
yeah.
So... it's about time for us to get out of here, folks. But before we go, don't forget, you have a monster card of 3 whole matches.
It's going to be so good.
Ready for you on Sunday night, Hell in a Cell. The Fiend taking on Seth Rollins for the Universal title.
Yep.
Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan will be taking on Harper and Rowan.
Haven says, hell yeah, y'all are he says, yeah, y'all are awesome. Well, Haven, hit that follow button and you'll get to hear what happens when there it is.
There it is. Outstanding. I mean, if they keep it to 3 matches, that'll be fantastic. It's not going to happen naked, Grandma. This is going to be, you watch WWE Twitter this week, I guarantee you, where's Silky's music? I'm stealing his music. Silky's gonna be pissed because we've been using his music a lot. His music that I fucking found for him, but nonetheless. There's going to be at least 3 other matches booked on Twitter between now and Hell in a Cell. At least 3. I'm telling you right now.
Cruiserweight Championship will be defended.
There'll be some kind of women's match. Ember Moon, maybe? There's a rockin' Ember Moon shirt.
Ember Moon versus Carmella for the 24/7 Championship.
Oh, jeez. You know who has the 24/7 Championship right now?
No, who has it?
Mushroom. Do you know who Mushroom is?
Who the fuck
Not
is
Mushroom, fucking Marshmallow.
Okay, I was
Sorry,
like...
Marshmallow. Jesus Christ. Marshmallow.
How?
And Marshmallow lost it, but we don't know how. I have to go to WWE Network.
What kind of drugs are you on?
Stop
and how
it.
can I get some?
Stop it. It's the Ember Moon thing. See?
I've been, you know what?
Gannicus. Oh, stop it. See? Now we've made him sad. We've made him sad.
Silky's music makes me miss him more.
Again, I'm right here. I'm right here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, Nick.
I even wore my glasses to try and, you know what? Next week, not going to happen. All right?
Okay, then.
Because tune in next week when
Chances
I'm
are
on
he'll
the
probably
show.
be here. Exactly. Truth
Chances
surprised
are.
him in his limo, and Carmella rolled him up from behind. Jesus Christ.
Good.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Look, I know Vince McMahon hates it, and I know you hate it as well, but I love that 24/7 title.
It's goofy fun. It's goofy fun.
And look, at the end of the day, wrestling's supposed to be entertaining. So whatever entertains you, go for it.
All wearing
24/7
marshmallow
Championship
heads.
does. Yes.
Christ.
That would be real. I want to see Corey Taylor from Slipknot
Mushroom
win.
lost the title. I'm sorry, Shroom Groot. Mushroom, Marshmallow, same fucking difference. Also, who the fuck is Marshmallow?
Marshmallow is somebody that the kids like. He's a DJ.
He's a DJ that wears an actual marshmallow head and jumps around. And
God, you know what where WWE fucked up tonight is we just missed out on Marshmallow versus Deadmau5. Could have had the battle of the big gimmick heads.
The big gimmick heads. So a discount.
See, Deadmau5. That's
Deadmau5. There you go.
You'll have to forgive Speez.
That's how he fucking spells Deadmau5. DEADMAU and the number 5.
First of all, he's an EDM DJ who wears a fucking mouse head.
Of course he is.
That's what surprises you. Like you're.
Shit.
That's what surprises you about
Dead Mouse. That's fucking horrible.
He has a 10-year-old.
I'm so glad he's 14 and thankfully
sorry.
he doesn't listen to that kind of horse shit. The kid listens to Metallica. He's rocking like 3 Metallica shirts. He's pissed off.
Really hold on,
he's
you're gonna
pissed
be
off
that guy?
because he doesn't have the Ride the Lightning shirt. He knows what Ride the Lightning is. He's got his Master of Puppets shirt. He's got his And Justice for All shirt. And he's got the crazy red one, which is a little bit,
Yeah.
Saint Anger-ish, but
You should listen. You know what? Here's what you're gonna do all week. All right, all weekend. Here's your homework. You're gonna listen to nothing but a Spotify playlist of Marshmallow and Deadmau5.
Oh God, my fucking head's gonna explode. My 44-year-old dad listens to Deadmau5's naked grandma.
He spans generations. The man is timeless.
Oh goodness,
and
gracious.
ageless. And yeah. Thank you so much for having me on the show again.
Well,
I
thank you for
appreciate
being here. Once again, our good buddy Kyle King coming in last minute and filling in here on the program for the benchmark, Silky Baines, who was stuck at the shoot job. Thank you for being here, sir. Shout out to a couple of new followers, Haven and Mark Jack. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to Get the Tables, 7-month subscribers to the program here on Twitch, so we appreciate that. And to Alistair Fiend and Gannicus for dropping those bits. We're very appreciative of that. Mr. King, before we say goodnight to you, sir, let everybody know one more time where they can catch your programming.
Ooh, okay. So much stuff that I do. I'm a writer for ColeSports.com, COAL Sports.com. Each week I do love and hate recaps of all of the wrestling shows going on. So you can go catch my articles over there. You can go find the Heel Turn podcast over on iTunes, the radio.com app, and Sports Radio 610.com, and we drop new episodes every single Friday. The latest one is up right now, and of course every single Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can find me here on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/The Kyle King Show. I'm at 34 followers right now. We're making a push to get to 50, so that way Speez doesn't have to watch ads and you guys can start contributing money
That's
because
exactly right.
these bills got to get paid.
Indeed, they do. So Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Central.
Yes.
It's the perfect lead-in to our buddies from Get the Tables. Who will
I
now
love
be
being
live
their lead-in, too. Like, it's a
on
lot
Get
of
the
fun.
Tables as well. So you get 2 hours of great wrestling program. Kyle King at 8, and our buddies from Get the Tables at 9. Of course, I will be back alongside the benchmark Silky Baines, hopefully,
I was going to say, maybe?
on Monday night, immediately following Monday Night Raw. So thanks to all of you guys for being with us here tonight. We had a great crowd tonight. A lot of people chipping in with the bits and so on. Do us a favor, spread the good word about the show. Word of mouth is the best thing for a show like ours.
Yes.
So
and follow us on Twitter, at Speez Benchmark, at Kyle King on air. I tweet about wrestling all day long. So
that will be great. So until Monday night, immediately following Monday Night Raw, for the weekend legend Kyle King, Chris Spizak, thank you so much for joining us here at Speez and the Benchmark Show. We will see you Monday night. Get out of here with that too sweet shit. Have a good weekend.
bye!
We'll see you next time.
See you in hell!
Jesus.